know before?
Well, how involved, like, her mom was. And here I was, going out there defending, and then behind my back, selling stuff to, Inquirer, things like that. It made me kind of mad. And when her dad told me, the truth, it really, it bothered me.
Dad told you the truth about what?
That, well, he put more of the blame on Jodi's mom.
About selling stuff to the tabloids?
That, and I guess whatever was going on, he didn't go into the exact details. I did it because he was accused of molesting Jodi. He never touched her. That was just a story, and I proved that on the lie detector test. It was a lie.
Oh, really? That was part of the lie detector test too.
Yeah, they asked, they asked, and I told the truth.
Gotcha. Because I guess the question was something along the lines: did Jodi Arias admit to you that she was making this up about her father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was.
Gotcha. A lot was made during the trial about how she was being removed from the jail very early in the morning. She was missing her meals and wasn't eating all day. Do you believe that was exaggerated, or are those the legitimate conditions of defendants trying to present themselves in court?
I believe that was exaggerated.
Oh, really?
Especially being her, they're not going to do anything to jeopardize any kind of rumors of that. She may not have, eaten as much as she wanted, but she's not going to go hungry when she has storing stuff in her room or that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she had commissary in her room, so she didn't have to worry about the meals that were being provided every day.
Right.
Because now you said she was receiving a ton of donations.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Okay. So, were you still friends with her? You had stopped being friends with her by the time the verdict came in?
Not shortly afterwards. Shortly afterwards, when everything kind of calmed down and she got transferred and all that, and then it just I started just seeing things, and it was just really bothersome.
Oh, like what?
So I stopped.
What did you?
Like I said, the involvement of the family, and and not having me go one way and they go the other, and it was a nightmare. It turned into a nightmare because all the people that Jodi would get involved and get a hold of us and was going to do this for her or that for her. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Well, give us an idea. What was she having people get involved to do for her?
Postings. She had me try to get a hold of a couple like Jose Baez and Geraldo Rivera and people like that because she wanted to talk to them. For her side being a domestic, I guess, abuse. So it turned into like Hollywood.
And you said that her parents were selling information to the tabloids?
Oh, her mom was, and that was her dad telling me.
Yeah, it's so tempting, because they're all over you, throwing money at you. What about yourself? Did they ever make any offers to you?
Oh, yeah, I got offers.
And what kind of information did they want from you?
The same thing, just pretty much, what was Jodi like and what happened, and, they'll talk a lot to my wife because she was more her roommate, so she learned a lot about her in the jail. But it was the biggest mistake I ever made because I lost my family over it.
Oh, really? Now, how'd that happen?
Oh, because they were starting to get notified by media and getting horrible emails and on social media. So they had to kind of just break away. I didn't talk to my nieces and nephews for quite a while.
That's a shame. And you haven't heard anything from anybody since?
No.
Not even her parents?
Nope.
Her father died, right?
I didn't expect it.
No?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I didn't expect it, really, because it kind of started going away once everything was starting to die down and everything. She was already out to prison, and, she'll always get in trouble for something out there, but, that's just how she is.
Do you hear through the grapevine how she's doing in prison?
Some people say she's doing okay. Some people say she's, stays to herself and is scared. So it's hard to know. She's probably somewhere in between. And she's got money.
Right. She still gets money coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't go without.
Any chance of all her appeals and stuff run out, or any chance for her?
If it is, it's because of the
book.
Some of the stuff with the lawyer and stuff, and being able to, I don't know how a prosecutor can go and write a book about information that was in a trial, because, like I said, nobody's going to trust their attorneys, because they're not going to know if they're going to throw it out there.
You said the prosecutor, but actually the defense attorney, Nurmi, wrote a book about his experience in the trial, then became a stand-up comedian. I believe he's a stand-up comedy now. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, he did. He came out with one, and so did Juan.
Yeah, Juan Martinez also was disbarred.
Yes, he was.
And there was a huge scandal where information was deleted from evidence off of Travis Alexander's laptop, which is I worked on a case once, okay, where the guy was so guilty. It was incredible. It was in Mingo County, West Virginia, and he had went to meet his ex-wife, and he murdered her. And then he stuck her body, he stuck her body in a refrigerator, and then her family knew right away, because this guy had so many domestic violence arrests. They knew right away that this guy had gotten her, because she was going to meet him that day. So they looked around where he could have dumped the body. This is like 3-4 hours later. And then they went back and they saw this refrigerator down off this cliff, and they knew right away that she was down there. But the thing is, my involvement with the case was because the guy confessed. But the police and the prosecutors had tampered with some evidence, and we were able to prove that. And for that, they dropped the charges down to 8 years. They gave him a deal 8 years. He's out right now. Yeah. Okay? But in this Jodi Arias case, there was so much abuse.
Yeah, and that's the scary part is, it wasn't done right. And to be honest, a lot of things weren't fair for her. Again, I'm not promoting, what she did.
Yeah.
But it kind of blew the faith in our system.
Yeah, because every defendant deserves a fair trial, and it doesn't matter who you killed, whether it's a good person or a bad person or what. We all deserve a fair trial, and every one of us too has a much greater chance of winding up at that defense table as the defendant than you ever will of the state coming down on your behalf to go after somebody who wronged you. It's like a 99 to 1. You're going to wind up in a jackpot yourself.
Yeah, she was. They never looked anywhere else but her.
Right.
They didn't like her from the beginning. And
today there's a killer walking loose.
I'm sorry, you broke. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, today there's a co-defendant, there's a conspirator, there's a killer walking loose, walking free.
Yes.
With no fear.
Yeah, because they don't believe it and they don't want to.
Well, yeah, I got the polygraph. I can't see how they can't use that. And plus, you're a witness. You confessed. It makes no sense. Did they ever say to you that they didn't believe you?
No. Because it was able to pretty much be, like I said, proven. And from the very beginning, from probably the second week into her having lawyers, her mom was, saying her idea and this, all kinds of, but they didn't. I didn't believe it.
The mother had some kind of idea she wanted to promote? What was that?
Yeah, because she believed that she had somebody, help, and she believed it was the same person.
Why do you think Jodi wouldn't want to testify against this co-defendant and get lighter charges, or it just wasn't offered to her?
Because I don't believe it was offered, but plus she never ever thought that she'd be convicted.
Really?
Yes. No, she never thought.
Why do you think she was so confident? She was sitting there in the maximum section of the pretrial detention. She had to know that everyone there was going to prison, because pretty much everybody does. What would make her think that she was going to get out?
She could fool herself into thinking that, she'll be going home in, 5 years or time served, because she doesn't understand or follow the law or what's going on.
Just wasn't paying attention, because she must be sitting there seeing everyone she's eating with every day is going to jail. They all wind up going to prison, one after another. Very seldom are charges dropped, or you got a not guilty verdict.
Yeah.
It's hardly ever.
So she's been locked up for a total, I think, like almost 14 years between jail and the prison.
I can't believe this is so long ago. It seems so fresh. I can remember. Yeah, I can remember doing interviews about this like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Because they keep it fresh. You know, like the new one on Discovery with her other lawyer and her mitigator. You know, saying that she was innocent and all that. They keep it going.
Yeah. So now, one of I guess it was in the mitigation phase. She had a psychiatrist or something like that testify on her behalf, and then he received death threats and was traveled around, stalked around and stuff like that. Did you experience that too as well?
Absolutely, it was bad, mainly outside the courthouse, and the officers wouldn't do anything because we were, as they looked at it, we were supporters of Jodi, so we had to pretty much fend for ourselves.
Okay, so there at the courthouse, you were being harassed and stalked, threatened. What about
Absolutely.
at home? And your home phone, your family? What was going on there?
My family was getting notified by people, because we didn't know it was going to become so ugly. So they had to block everything, and my nephews and nieces were being harassed, and I had to change my phone number. I mean, it was just ugly, and Jodi could have stopped it easily, but Jodi, if you cross Jodi, she has people that are going to make your life miserable.
How could she have stopped it?
She has to just write the people that she has do all this stuff and tell them to stop.
So, but at first though, she didn't have control over these people, right? Because these were anti-Jodi people.
No, she didn't have control over them.
Yeah.
But she had control over the ones that were doing some really bad.
Okay, great. So you first had it from the anti-Jodi people, then you had it later from the pro-Jodi people.
Yes.
So you didn't have a friend in the world.
Nope.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough because that true crime crowd can be brutal to begin with, and then it's just getting crazy how they stalk these witnesses and stuff like that. What about you ever talk to Nancy Grace or any of those kind of people?
A long time ago, years. I want to say maybe 2010, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much. I haven't talked to really anybody else.
Let me ask you this: is there anything I haven't asked you that you want the audience to know? Because we only got a couple of minutes.
What?
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want the audience to know? Because we only have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I just want them to understand that this was things were not done right.
Yeah.
And there needs to be changes in making sure that all the people and the right people are held accountable.
Yeah, this really was a circus with Juan Martinez signing autographs and taking pictures with the spectators and witnesses being harassed, and even people like yourself, spokespeople, being harassed.
Yes.
Donovan Bering, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I know it's been a long time. I didn't realize it was that long. So I guess you had a little memory struggle with your memory there to remember all this stuff. But thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night.